back. Now I'll recognize the chairman of the full committee, Ms. Rodgers, for her 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I mentioned, this is the first in a series of AI hearings for our committee. It's the seventh in terms of data privacy, and just let me add that the importance of protecting our kids runs throughout. Chairman Bilirakis highlighted data security. We've worked on data minimization, and we've had multiple layers that provide even more protections with a national standard for data privacy. The legislation isn't just about one provision. It's about all the provisions working together to achieve the strongest protections possible for everyone, including kids. I'd like to start with Ms. Espinel. Can you tell me how conducting impact assessments and calculating risk will serve us well in data privacy legislation and prevent harms in AI?
Yes, thank you very much. So impact assessments are a very important tool in terms of ensuring that there's accountability, in terms of ensuring that companies are acting responsibly. I want to start off by saying we believe it's important in privacy and in AI that impact assessments apply both to what are often called controller processors in privacy law, but also developers and deployers in AI, those that are creating the AI systems and the companies that are using AI systems. Both should have obligations to conduct impact assessments. Those impact assessments will be slightly different because those companies are doing different things. They have access to different data, and they can take different steps in order to mitigate risks. And so the obligations and the impact assessments should mirror that. They should reflect that. But you can think of an impact assessment in a way like a report card.
Okay.
For a developer, for someone creating the AI system, they need to have an impact assessment that looks at what is the purpose of that AI system, and what are the limits on that AI system. In other words, what should that AI system not be used for?
Excuse me, thank you, that's great. I know there's a lot more. I have a couple more questions though, but thank you. Mr. Kukurian, I appreciate the way you distilled potential AI harms, and this dovetails with Mr. Gregg's points on how sophisticated technology can be. It underscores our concerns of how adversarial nations, including China with TikTok, could access and train AI models using our data to cause harm and manipulate us. So just very briefly, would a comprehensive data privacy security bill, similar to ours from last year, that restricts data brokers and big tech counter this threat to our security?
Thank you for that question. I believe it would for portions of it. I think that giving people transparency into where their data is going and giving them consent on how to actually control it is extremely important. I do highlight that I think there is some concern around these public spaces, these digital public spaces that people are voluntarily surrendering their data into unknowingly and at large volumes. And it's unclear whether or not those could be fully covered because those are simply scrapable and downloadable by different parties. But I think from the explicit data collection standpoint, yes, I do believe that some form of this act would prevent those.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gregg, my kids would be disappointed if I didn't let you get away without a question, not to mention co-opting one of your lines. So, we focused a lot on the importance of foundational protections and data privacy for also being important for trustworthy AI. It's a massive undertaking with concessions from all parties and stakeholders. So would you agree this is never going to work if we don't have something to unite behind, and that enacting data privacy legislation is important in this Congress?
First of all, thank you, and my greetings to your kids. And I'm really impressed that they remembered that line from an episode I loved. Yeah, absolutely. I think what was just said about voluntary means that you put in. I see all these things popping up in California now. Which part of your data do you agree? I don't know. I'm busy. I don't like that I think of something and 2 days later I get an ad for it. It's creepy. Pardon me, I don't know if that's, anyway, but I guess I can say creepy. But I think that we're depending on guardrails to come from you. As was said, this is a national, the borders don't exist here. This is all happening around the planet in microseconds. We depend on the guardrails that can be put in place nationally. This committee is so important to me to protect us as we figure out what this even is and what the ramifications are, because clearly most of us don't.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate everyone being here. This has been a great panel. We do have more questions, but I have to yield back right now. I'm out of time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I thank the gentlelady, and now I recognize my friend.